Hey, this is Adam Torres, and I'm here to tell you that it has never been easier to start your very own podcast. At Mission Matters, our goal is to amplify stories that matter. That means we want to help you start your podcast because your story matters. We can do this in 3 different ways. 1, join our podcast school and take a free or paid course. 2, visit our resources page where we've already figured out what you need, such as where to host your podcast. Or 3, heck, we can even do everything for you through our podcast agency, including editing for cheaper than you can do in-house. Oh, and no contract, service is month to month. Get started by heading over to missionmatters.com and click on Start a Podcast. All right, now let's get into the show. Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Entertainment Podcast, your source for all things entertainment. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have on the show Noah Kubacki, who is also known as the Palm Prince, and he is a Neo-Expressionist artist, and he creates art for his Instagram. Noah, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Adam.
All right, Noah, so I'm excited to get into today's topic. So we're going to talk about Neo-Expressionism art and what you're doing on Instagram and also your process. So I love kind of peeling back the layers on an artist's process. I always find it interesting to see what goes into putting out a piece. But before we get into that, let's go a little bit further in your background. So how did you really kind of start off and get going on this road as an artist?
Well, it's funny you mention that. I never really thought that I was artistic, to be honest. I used to go to art shows often, and I'd appreciate the work, but as far as creating, I didn't do much. I wrote a couple of poems here and there, but when it came to painting or drawing, I didn't really do that. I eventually found out later on that I apparently had talent, some people said, and so I just thought, all right, let's go with this. Let's see what we can create. Let's make something awesome, and here we are today.
Man, that's awesome. I like stories like this when it's like, well, I wasn't really planning on it actually, but it just kind of happened. I find a lot of similarities in that for me. I'm like, I didn't plan. I think when I went to school, I don't know if podcasting was out, so I couldn't have went to school and said, hey, I want to be a podcaster when I grow up because I don't know if it existed. Oh man. So I think it's a great transition, too. So let's just dive right into the type of art you're making and your process. So tell us a little bit more about what goes into what you do.
Okay, so as you know, and as you mentioned, I'm a Neo-Expressionist artist, which means that I try to express emotion and really invoke that in a piece. So I use bright colors, and I'm always using different line design. What my process is, it's very interesting. Usually when I'm out at places, I think of random phrases or words, something that just interests me, you know. And I just take that and I write that down, and next thing you know, I put it in a piece. And when it comes to like painting, I just go at it. I have fun with it, and if something looks weird or wacky, I'm like, yeah, this could work.
That's awesome. And so what have you, like, on this journey as an artist, 'cause I've looked at your Instagram, there's a lot of interesting pieces there. What has this done for you in terms of, I'll tell you where this question comes from. There's a lot of, people out there listening right now that they maybe don't feel they're artistic, or maybe they are and they just haven't gone and taken that step to just take that next, whatever that is that pushes somebody to finally put their work out there. Like, what has been one of the most rewarding things for you, from just taking that step and really, putting your work out there?
From putting my work out there, I'd have to say the most rewarding thing is just the feedback that I get, that people are saying, wow, you're wonderful and amazing. And I see these pieces sometimes like, am I really that great? Or it's good to have that feedback and to know that what you're doing actually matters and that you're bringing something new to culture and that you're just creating and that people are enjoying what you're creating. It's really satisfactory.
That's awesome, and it makes a lot of sense. And I feel like for artists or whatever your medium, so yours happens to be be building through your channels, but there's a lot of different ways that people choose to and can express themselves, obviously through the arts. And I just think it's a great thing to do overall. So what are your plans for this brand overall? Let's get more into the brand side of things. So at Palm_Prince is on Instagram, and I've looked at your Instagram for a while. What are your plans for the brand overall?
I want Palm Prince to be a name that's up there with a bunch of artists. I mean, I think every artist wants that at a certain point, but I want it to not just be something you say in passive. I want people to understand that my brand is, I'm very expressive, and I want people to just appreciate my work. eventually, hopefully, I want to have my own store so that I could help get this work out to other people into their homes.
And where did the name come from? I forgot to ask you that. So where did the palm prints come from?
It came from, that's actually a good story. So originally I was born in New Jersey, and I lived there for most of my teenage youth. But later on, we moved out to California, my mother and I, and it was a 4-day drive that we just went across the country, which was it was a life-changing experience, that alone. But when I got here, I called a friend up, and I was like, yeah, I'm out in the desert now. I'm living, in Palm Springs. And he's like, wow, bro, you're like the Palm Prince. And I was like, wow, I actually really like that name. So I took that from a friend of mine.
Oh, my gosh. That is a great story. I'm like, wait a minute. I would have never guessed Palm Springs. That's where it came from. That's awesome.
Yep.
So Noah, that being said, it's been awesome having you on the show. If somebody's listening to this and they want to get in touch with you, they want to learn more about your work, upcoming pieces that you may already have out, and just to follow your brand and your progress overall, I mean, what's the best way for them to connect and to follow your work?
As of now, the best way to get to me is my Instagram at palm_prints. Usually I upload at least once a week, but recently I've just been focusing on my new works.
That's great. I love it. Well, Noah, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about your background and kind of the birth of how the palm prints came about, and also what goes into your work, what goes into your art, and your plans for your brand going forward. I think it's a great story, and I'll be excited to continue to follow along and to watch your progress. So great stuff there. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review in the Apple iTunes store, and if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Entertainment, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments in the video. Love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And Noah, thanks again for coming to the show.
Thanks, Adam. Love the energy. Thank you for having me.